To learn more about Next Level Sound's online music production courses, please visit nextlevelsound.com.
They're called band nodes in the manual. So let's keep our nomenclature straight. These are band nodes. So we got away from that factory preset, this crazy thing, and we turned all of the band nodes off. So to turn a band node on or off is just you double click, which is really easy. You can right click to do enabled and disabled, but even quicker and dirtier is just double clicking. Okay, so all of my band nodes are off. We're sort of in this default mode. We have a fast attack, but allowing a little bit of transient. We have a fast release, 100% mix. We're not trying to find the right answer with a parallel processing blend. We've got some sort of like 1130 sharpness and a 1030 selectivity, 100% linked, even balance. And we're in soft mode. You can think of soft and hard, as we said last time, is almost like ratios on a compressor. A soft knee or a hard knee or a low ratio or a high ratio, one is more transparent, one is more corrective. I think it's logical to start in soft, which is what the manual says, and I agree, and then go hard if you need to. Now, we talked about this when we started getting into this in Graduates Club, whether you would put Soothe first or early in your chain, or put it towards the end of the chain, maybe like in front of a limiter or something like this as a cleanup plugin. What's the right answer to that? What do you put? If here we go, we're mixing Brett's song. We're going to start to do the vocals. Do you put it early in the chain or you put it late? Yeah, exactly. No, but here's what I think. I think that Soothe2 has two functions for us, and we've seen this before. One is corrective and one is sweetening. If you're and you can definitely do double Soothe, absolutely. And you can put Soothe, again, layers of Soothe, and Soothe on your mixing and mastering bus or on your vocal bus. So you can do layers of Soothe. If your vocal needs some serious resonance suppression correction, where do you put it? Early or late? Early, yeah. So when we're using Soothe correctively, we're going to put it early. And I would say almost any vocal could use a little bit of Soothe at least. So I think it's very, very logical when it comes to vocals, and not just vocals, but any instrument, close mic'd, strings, stuff like that has a proclivity. That's a big word for having some funky resonances. When Soothe is in corrective mode, it would go early in the chain. Let's say you threw a lot of different channel strip plugins at your vocal, and you really liked your vocal, but you just wanted to do a sort of tonal balance style smoothing effect, where you just sort of took the broader components of the frequency spectrum of the vocal and you just wanted to gently even those out. Where would you put that? Last. Maybe not dead last, but maybe in front of a limiter. So, and could you do both? Could you go corrective early, do a bunch of channel stripping, and then use Soothe to gently do some tonal balancing to the vocal? Yes, 100%. According to me, yes. Okay. So cool. So let's start with some corrective stuff here. Okay. I have taken all these band nodes. So we're going to go corrective. Now I have turned off all these band nodes. Does this mean that Soothe is not active until I activate one of these nodes? Is that true or false? It's true. It's false. I'm glad we all agree. Okay, let's test out our theory. I have all of these nodes deactivated, all of them. Let's do some Soothe and see if what happens. Aha, Raphael, you could tell by the tone of my voice, you jumped on the bandwagon. Watch.
Fool, you tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. Bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends.
Okay, so there's the answer. Soothe is working. I don't want to say is a single band mode, but it's working. It's doing its Soothe thing without the band node biasing, right? So even if all of these, isn't that interesting? I thought I'd start with that. I thought you'd find that interesting. So this means that the band nodes are influencers, right? That's a good modern word, an influencer. And so they're going to influence soothe2, but if you turn them off, soothe2 just does its little auto thing that it thinks is correct. Everyone follow that? So soothe2 is always acting, and then you tend to bias it. Okay. So that's a revelation in and of itself, and good to know. So I'm going to say, yeah, could you use soothe2 in this way without playing with the band notes? Is that legal? Could you just let it do its thing? Sure. Sure. But is that our style? Is that our coat of arms? No. We like to make it good for us. We're sensitive. And I wouldn't change a thing. So I want everyone in corrective soothe mode to differentiate a little bit between low resonances and high resonances, because they're apples and oranges. They're apples and mangoes. They're not the same. Low resonances create masking. And until you deal with the low resonances, you don't know how you feel about the high resonances because of the masking quality of low frequencies and how they hide things. What would you do if you were you, which you are, and you were starting off with this thing? Would you go for the biggest resonance to correct it first, or would you go for the lowest resonance and correct it first? Would you go low to high, or just jump in the water? Yeah, it's logical. You could do that. You could go for the biggest one and then see what it sounded like and then fix the other things that bothered you. But for me, if there's a low frequency resonance, just like when we do reductive EQ with Pro Q3, I clean up the lows first, because otherwise I don't know what I have. And I think making friends with soothe2 is very similar to making friends with Pro MB. Sort of like if Pro MB and Pro Q3 had a kid or something. It's a very kind of Pro MB mentality, where if you jump in with Pro MB and you start going through the presets, your brain is going to scramble. But if you turn everything off and you do one thing at a time, you can actually set up a very complex Pro MB that actually makes sense to you. And if something's bothering you about it, you actually know where to go. So we're going to follow that here. And we're going to go for the lowest resonance first. So use your eyes, start in this vanilla generic mode, push enough depth, and let's see if we can see the first resonance we want to suppress.
I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted.
Up here, and you can hover your mouse to get the frequency. So let's hover a little bit and see if we can just for fun to see if we can get the number of that lowest resonance.
I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do.
What frequency is it, sort of ish? Yeah, 180. Yeah, 180-ish. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to grab one of these nodes. I'm going to grab the yellow node. I'm not going to grab the filter because I want that for later. Hey. So I'm going to grab this first and I'm going to double click it and turn it on. Then for us modifier key people, if you hold down Option, it solos the band. Really nice, right? Double click turns it on and off. Option solos the band, and then you can slide it around. And then if you have fancy fingers and you're on a trackpad, your two outer fingers can make it skinnier or wider. It's very similar to FabFilter, right? So let's get this 180 resonance. Let's just kind of hone in on it.
You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry.
So everyone get that technique? Hold down Option to solo the band, slide it around, use your outer fingers to adjust the width. Works different on different mouses. So now when I hit play, I'm going to tell Soothe, okay, I know you're soothing the whole signal right now, but can you give extra sensitivity to this 180 thing? So to do that, I'm going to take this band node and I'm going to move it north of the equator. If I say, hey, don't react to the 180 as much, I'm going to pull it down south. But I say, hey, that's a problem there. I know you're looking at the whole frequency spectrum, but I'm telling you, this is what's bothering me. So I am going to move it north. And as I do, it's going to react more to that frequency band.
I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. Don't observe.
Okay. So it's not boosting, but it's paying more attention to it's paying more attention to that frequency zone, and it's going to do more soothing to that zone by pushing that up. It's just a sensitivity control, not a gain. Everyone good with that? The higher the band spot, the more suppression of the resonance. Correct. Okay, good. Now, I can bypass it here to here. I can bypass it here. It's the same thing. I can bypass the entire plugin here, and I can also bypass the entire plugin here. So wherever you're working, there's bypasses for you. Okay, light bulb moment. We love these. Now, am I hearing Soothe only react to this 182 thing, or is Soothe still reacting to the whole signal? Right. I said, hey, Soothe, you're doing your Soothe thing. Soothe this 180 more than everything else you're doing. That's what I'm telling it to do. But it's still reacting to the whole thing. Is it easy to hear what we're doing if Soothe is reacting to the whole thing while we're doing this? No, it's not. Like if you had Pro MB, would you have 4 bands compressing while you're trying to set the compression on the low end band? No. How do I fix this? It's not about turning these things on and off. We saw that. So how do I make it so that when I'm just soothing one band. Filter nodes. Yes, Brett. Yes, not the no. We can filter, right? This is how we get to just do one thing at a time and soothe and just do what we want to do. And the delta will help you hear the difference, but I want to hear this whole vocal with just what I'm doing. So Brett is right. We're going to go to this high cut. We're going to turn it on, and we're going to drag that high cut all the way over like this. Now watch what happens in these other bands as we are soothing.
Fool, you tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted.
Does everyone see how turning this high cut on and off chills out soothe in this other area so you can hear what you're doing? Okay, good. Now, do high cuts completely eliminate sounds to the left and the right of them, or do they just turn them down? Right, they just turn them down. So you can see that these are still wiggling a little bit, right?
I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm...
It's nothing too scary, but you see there's still a little wigglage here. But I think where we put the high cut is good because it's not cutting into this resonance suppression sensitivity setting that we like. So if I want everything on the East Coast here, east, to wiggle less, what do? Higher slope. Right. So watch. I have 12, I have 24, I have 48, and we know sometimes you get some weird phase stuff with very sharp slopes, but we have some different choices here if we want to keep our cutoff frequency. So watch it wiggle less.
I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted.
Okay, so audible for sure. I agree. So you set it where it's good for you. And now we can see if we like what we did to our 180.
But I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't...
It's just taking a little bit of that furry low end thing out of it. If you go too far, you might lose some warmth. Where you set it, that's up to you. I do want, when people are setting soothe, to go with that, just go extreme for a second, just to tune your ears to what too much is. So we always do this in all of our engineering. So let's just overdrive the depth here and just hear what too much soothe is. And so we can find the sweet spot that sounds natural, but then when you bypass it, you miss it.
I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do.
You want to keep the warmth, but you want to get the muffled out. Okay, so now a couple things. To fine tune this sensitivity, we got a couple things we can do. We can play with the cue and we can play with the shape. We have a bell and we have a band shelf. Band shelf is like a little hilltop where you can have a picnic. It's flat on top. It's just a different shape. A bell goes for is a more pointed shape. So you can play here with this, and you can also play with the cue, and you can see the resonance. Why do we want to fine tune it with the cue? Look, if we're too wide, what's the problem with too wide for a resonance suppression? What's wrong with this too wide? What's bad about too wide? It grabs too much stuff. It takes a big hole out of the low end, and it's not specific to the resonance that's bothering us. Exactly. What's wrong with too skinny? Has a little bit of a phase mistress, unnatural sound, and maybe misses some of the resonance on either side of it. So you want to fine tune your cue. No, it's not static, but it's the sensitivity is the behavior. How do I put this? The behavior of soothe within your defined sensitivity is dynamic, but your definition of sensitivity is static. Did that make any sense? Okay. So you kind of want to just touch up the shape a little bit.
You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You showed.
So, all right. So far, so good. We kind of just got the lowest one that kind of did some of the masking. The depth works is going to work on the whole business. So you might jump a little bit as you get in your answer between the depth and the individual sensitivities to make everybody happy. Right now we have sharpness and we have selectivity. What is sharpness again? What does it do? Well, sharpness is it's going to you're defining a sensitivity zone. But then the nature of the suppression that Soothe2 is going to do is going to change depending on your sharpness setting. So if you go for not too much sharpness, it's going to grab sort of probably a few different resonances that live next to each other and move them as a one holistic thing. If you go for a high amount of sharpness, it's going to have all of those resonances, even if they're right next to each other, all separated and try to suppress them in a skinny individual way. What does that look like? It looks like this.
You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted.
So yeah, exactly. If you're on a low sharpness, he kind of takes two resonances that are close together and kind of treats them as one in a way. If you go to a higher sharpness, then you start to see the individual ones and it's acting individually. If you're going for a more transparent soothe, what would you do? Yeah, lower. Lower is just a little bit less. I think it's just a little bit more natural sounding, but there are times, and it depends on the depth. But it depends on also the nature of the resonance. You know how you would set it, but that is your sharpness. Yeah, I think I would put selectivity on the left. I think I would. What is selectivity? And you could set either one, and you're probably going to bounce between them. But I think you could definitely start with selectivity for sure. What is selectivity? What does it do? It's looking for more specific frequencies to cut in a way, but what's another way of saying it? If you go to a high selectivity, it's saying, I only want Soothe to react to the strongest resonances. The strongest. It's more of a thresholdy thing. If you go to a low selectivity, it's going to sort of look at all the resonances, whether they're super prominent or not, and allow Soothe to soothe those out. Does that make sense? It's more for tonal shaping. What if you have a perfect recording, but there's one super strong resonance that's blowing your mind? Would you go high selectivity or low? High, because you want to leave everything else alone because you like it. What if you want to do some overall soothing just to smooth out the sound? Then you go low. I honestly think that the way that they built the resolution of these, when they go high, we go low, sort of the resolution of these knobs is good. And for the most part, you're going to live around 12 o'clock, plus or minus, unless you're doing something extreme. And then as long as you can defend yourself in audio soothe court, you're fine. Okay. So let's just touch these up a little bit. See if we can improve upon this a bit.
I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends.
Feel free to tune it however you want to tune it. But if you notice, I sort of, and I've been doing this a bunch, I kind of end up somewhere around midnight or 12 noon, depending on your lifestyle. So now we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. Could we further focus? This could be, well, we could. Yeah, we could do attack and release. We certainly could. But we can also go to this low cut and we can move this to just to tell Soothe, like maybe set it at 60, maybe 24 dB per octave or so. And just tell Soothe, you don't have to worry about anything. Don't spend your mental an emotional energy left of 60, right? I think I'm showing you this not because perhaps in this instance that it's so important. No, you could have, but I thought it would be more dramatic to make these guys stop moving so you could see it better. But I think it's a good practice, just like we low cut things that we can't hear religiously because we know it makes our speakers and our DAW happy. I think you can tell Soothe, chill, don't worry about this. And I think it will focus the energy of Soothe. Probably won't be the most dramatic bypass that we'll ever do together.
Showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted.
I just think you religiously want to work the filters here. I do hear it too. I think I do too. Okay, good. All right, everyone understand how you constrain the behavior of Soothe with your high cut and low cut? It tightens it up. I agree. So to me, the next logical thing to do here would be to go for the next resonance. So now that we're all oriented, let's grab the next resonance.
But feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed into the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but...
So this is really what we used to do upside down looking from Pro Q3, but now these are dynamically suppressing as the resonance move around a little bit. So now we can relax. If we want to hear this a little bit better, let's go to this high cut and just make sure that it's not encroaching on the freedom of this node here. Just because we set it to isolate just to hear what we were doing with the first one. We want to let's give this one some room to suppress. Sounds a little strange, but you know what I'm saying.
Can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't help but feel you played me for a fool. You tell me you care, but I don't think you do. You make me act dumb. I call you when I'm drunk. I know how this ends. I can't help but notice you showed him to the world. You show me the back door so neighbors don't observe. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. You take him round the planet. You've only taken me to your bedroom and for granted. I can't.
Okay. Does everyone get this workflow? Using the filters to isolate, doing one thing at a time, occasionally overdoing it to hear what overdoing it is. And then, checking your answers. Now, this sharpness and this selectivity, these are global for all of your nodes. So what I think you want to do, there's a couple of different approaches, but one is to leave these sort of in a general vibe and then do your fine tuning on each band sensitivity, right? Because if I play with this sharpness here, it's going to affect all of them. And the sharpness is the sharpness. But if I want to fine tune the sensitivity behavior of Soothe, I'm going to do it locally on each band node to get the exact shape I'm looking for. Does that make sense? That's how you get each band node the way you want it. It's the local way to handle sharpness. Yeah, exactly. It's slightly different technology, similar result. So how would you put this in the chain? I think, look, more and more people are recording at home, not in really fancy recording studios these days. So look, if you go to the fanciest recording studio in San Francisco, you're going to have engineers running around. They're going to be putting mics in front of your face. It's in a multi-million dollar acoustic room. They're supposed to make it so that you don't need too much Soothe. But in reality these days, people are doing everything at home. If I was doing a vocal that I thought was, cool vocal, but had some resonance stuff to do, I would do it first. And one more thing, and then we'll table it for today. Is it a good idea if you do Soothe first correctively? Would you keep it live or render it? I'd render it. I'd render it because this does take some CPU. If I don't like it, I can go back and re-render it. And when I render it, I get 4 times the resolution and I get my 4 times the oversampling, ultra resolution. I get my DSP back and I get an even better sounding Soothe than what I was auditioning. And we're not scared to render stuff early in the chain. Later in the chain, it gets a little harder. But this kind of thing, this is a perfect thing to render, I think. And if you thought you overdid it, for those who have direct offline processing or event processing, like Studio One people, it's not that scary to render. Or people who have workflows like Kevin, he knows when he renders stuff, if it's bugging him in the middle of the night, he knows where to go to fix it. So I would definitely render this for both of those reasons. All right. Time flies when you're soothing. We are going to keep going with this. On Thursday, I want to show you some hard mode stuff. I know it is. It is gorgeous. I'm going to show you some hard mode, and we're just going to keep doing Soothe examples until you and Soothe are best friends. I'll see you Thursday. We'll keep this Soothe party going. Cheers.
To learn more about Next Level Sound's online music production courses, please visit nextlevelsound.com.